Hello and welcome to HW News English. I am Shubham Chauhan. We are coming to you live with a breaking and a very important news that has taken place in the state of Maharashtra just hours before the state goes to polls tomorrow. Like we've been covering the Maharashtra elections for you. Maharashtra will go to polls tomorrow. That's the 20th of November. But today it's been a day of frantic developments. BJP leader, senior Bharatiya Janata Party leader and general secretary of the party, Vinod Tawde, has been booked in a cash for votes sort of charge on the basis of a cash for votes allegations that are leveled against him today. I'll quickly take you, like I said, it's been a day of frantic developments, of videos, of statements, of reactions from different political leaders. But before I get into what could this mean for the state of Maharashtra just hours before it goes to polls, let me first take you through with what actually happened. At about 12:30, there were reports that came in that Vinod Tawde was having a meeting with Rajan Naik. He's the BJP candidate from Nala Sopara. He was having this meeting in a plush hotel in Virar. This is on the outskirts of Mumbai. This is part of Palghar district. There was a meeting going on, and in that meeting, leaders and party workers of the Bahujan Vikas Aghadi, this is a party led by Hitendra Thakur, who's known to have a certain clout in areas like Vasai and Virar. And we are also playing those visuals for you. Workers of the Bahujan Vikas Aghadi turned up at the hotel. They said that Vinod Tawde they claimed that there are crores of rupees on cash that Vinod Tawde was carrying, and the fact that he was trying to bribe voters with just before the state goes to polls. Vasai MLA, like I said, Hitendra Thakur and his son Kshitij Thakur arrived at the hotel in Virar, where they interrupted the meeting between Rajan Naik and Vinod Tawde. There are videos, like we can see Vinod Tawde being surrounded by workers of the Bahujan Vikas Aghadi. You can see some of the party workers are flashing notes, calling him Chorch, or the audio as well. If we also play the sound with it, it also says some party workers are shouting slogans. There's high drama played out for about 2 to 3 hours in this hotel, where Vinod Tawde was accused of bribing or carrying crores of rupees of cash just before Maharashtra heads to polls. The BVA claims that they found about 5 crore rupees in a bag that allegedly belonged to Vinod Tawde, the senior BJP leader, and 2 diaries that allegedly showed transactions totaling to 15 crore rupees. The BJP has dismissed all these allegations. Mr. Vinod Tawde himself has made statements saying that these allegations are false and that he did not carry out any such activity. BVA activists or BVA party workers, meanwhile, continue to press for the arrest of BJP leader Vinod Tawde, despite efforts of the security personnel present at the location to defuse the situation. Both Hitendra Thakur and his son and other party workers remained inside the hotel in Virar. In fact, speaking to a local Marathi channel, BVA chief, he said that his party, which is the BVA, Bahujan Vikas Aghadi, got a tip from some Bharatiya Janata Party workers themselves. A very interesting statement. The BVA chief says that he and his party got a tip from BJP workers themselves that so much amount of cash is being carried around, and following which Mr. Thakur and his party workers arrived at the location. Palghar's district collector later announced plans to file an FIR against Vinod Tawde for violating election rules by entering the area within 48 hours of polls. Now remember, this comes just hours before Maharashtra goes to polls, and since yesterday, 6 p.m., there's something called a silence period that is put in place. This silence period, particularly in place for politicians, where all sorts of campaigning has to stop. Any and every mode and means of campaigning have to stop. The intention, the aim rather, is to ensure that voters have a campaign-free environment where they can sort of reflect back on the events that have taken place in the last few weeks and then go to polls. So all sorts of political activities had to stop. Let's come back to what happened in Virar. Now, this ruckus lasted for over 3 hours. Of course, heavy police and security presence at this hotel in Virar. Some of the party workers also claimed that the CCTV recordings were deleted. I'm reading out what Hitendra Thakur has told. This is his quote. I was told by BJP workers that Vinod Tawde was coming with 5 crore rupees. I came with my supporters. We found a diary. The police and election commission must act. The CCTV network of the hotel was also shut and started much after I arrived. I feel that the hotel management is also involved and action must be taken against them. This is what Hitendra Thakur of the Bahujan Vikas Aghadi had to say. The BJP, like I said, has denied all allegations. 3 FIRs is what we are given to understand have been filed. In fact, just after this chaos sort of came to an end, the two parties had reportedly decided to hold a joint press conference. It's the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Bahujan Vikas Aghadi. These two had planned to hold a joint press conference. But just as the press conference was about to start, they were stopped by the election commission officials because, like I said, the silence period was on. No press conference, no interactions with the voters in any form that could possibly affect the outcome of the election. All of that was banned, and hence the EC has, in fact, stopped both these leaders from addressing the media. Now we'll again, in fact, play those visuals for you. We can see Vinod Tawde being he's in fact dismissing, or he's trying to get out of this ruckus that happened in a hotel in Palghar district. He can be seen indicating the fact that the cash does not belong to him. And I will read out his statement as well, what Vinod Tawde, General Secretary of the Bharatiya Janata Party, had to say. He said, and I'm quoting, I had stopped on my way to discuss about polling process and code of conduct with our candidate. I had a brief meeting with the candidate and I was about to leave when BVA workers came. They thought I was distributing money. This is what Vinod Tawde had to say. I'm reading out his exact quote here. EC personnel came, they checked my vehicle, they did not find anything. Let there be investigation into the allegations they are making. I have been in politics for the last 40 years, and Hitendra Thakur and Kshitij Thakur have known me for years. They were under the impression that I was coming here for the distribution of money. However, I demand an impartial probe into this. This is what Vinod Tawde had to say on these allegations that surfaced earlier today. In fact, some election commission officials rather have been quoted in the media saying that about 10 lakh rupees cash has been recovered. This is the latest development that we have. Of course, if there is something else, we'll keep adding to it. This has been a rapidly evolving situation for the last 6 hours in the poll-bound state of Maharashtra, where BJP leader Vinod Tawde has been accused of distributing cash with us to go for voting. What we're given to understand that there has been an FIR against Vinod Tawde in this particular matter, and also he's also been booked for violating the silence period, which, like I said, no press conference, no interactions can take place in this. And of course, it snowballed into a political issue. Opposition leaders have latched onto it. Sanjay Raut has said that the top leader of BJP conspired to leak the information about Vinod Tawde. This is, again, I'm quoting, the Home Department kept an eye on Tawde. Tawde belongs to Bahujan Samaj, and to end the future challenge from him, top BJP leaders conspired against him. Now, this is, of course, Rahul Gandhi, Lok Sabha leader of opposition. He also tweeted, he took a jibe at Prime Minister Modi saying, "Ek hai to safe hai." From whose safe did these 5 crore rupees come? And there are several questions that this incident has sort of led us to ask. First, where did that money come from? Whose money was it? Who was allegedly distributing this? That is yet to be ascertained in a way. Who was the owner of so much cash that has been that was being transported just hours to go before voting? What about who was involved? Who did this? And B, what exactly happens from here? Like I said, Hitendra Thakur said that he got a tip from BJP workers and leaders themselves about the fact that Vinod Tawde was coming to this hotel, and there was cash that was being carried around. So, is this a conspiracy? Like some leaders have said, this is a conspiracy to frame Vinod Tawde. This has been done by the opposition. Who really is behind all of this? As far as this cash for votes row, as it's being put up, is concerned, like I said, this is something that has really become a political row. In fact, what we were also given to understand is 6 p.m. Vinod Tawde himself was expected to brief the media at the BJP Media Center in South Mumbai. That briefing, we are given to understand, has been cancelled. although he did give a couple of bites to a few media houses where he put his side of the version. Hitendra Thakur, meanwhile, spoke to some Marathi news channels on this situation, what really transpired. In fact, some reports also suggest that after this ruckus was done, Hitendra Thakur and Vinod Tawde left together from this hotel in Palghar district. So, a very significant event, and also something that is very, very important when you look at it in terms of election. When you talk about money power, where did this, like I said, where did this money come from, and more importantly, who was behind this? So now, with the situation, with the facts out of our way, and all the related developments, so that's, we have Sujit Nair, who's joining us, managing editor of HW News, to understand what could be the political ramifications for this. Sujit, just asked to go. Good evening, first of all. Just asked to go before goes to polls, and we're seeing a lot of action. This last 6 to 7 hours have been really frantic in terms of developments. How do you see this entire allegation with BJP leader Vinod Tawde being at the center of it all?
Okay, Shubham, this is very interesting. Very interesting. So, what we will do is we will kind of bifurcate this into two. Primarily, we will talk about what happened, and then we'll talk about the history. ठीक है ना? So, possibly we will try and kind of figure out what exactly is going on. Okay. Number one, the fact is the talk was for 5 crores, 15 crores, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs. So the amount which was mentioned are various. So that's point number one. Point number two, BVA, that is Bahujan Vikas Aghadi, is technically known to be more closer to Bharatiya Janata Party than the Mahavikas Aghadi. In fact, 2019, they fought with the Bharatiya Janata Party. They were alliance to Bharatiya Janata Party. This is the status of Bahujan Vikas Aghadi, BVA. ठीक है ना? So that is point number two. Point number three is, after all of this, like you rightly said, Mr. Tawde and Mr. Thakur, they both went in the same car. So that is point number three. Point number four, there was supposed to be a press conference that was supposed to happen between together with BVA and Bharatiya Janata Party. That press conference was stopped by the election commission. So that is point number four. See, all these are very significant data points, and we will try and link all this together. Now, the point also is, when Mr. Thakur, who incidentally was the whistleblower, when he gherowed Mr. Taude, what did he say? He says that tip was given by a Bharatiya Janata Party worker, which means that Bharatiya Janata Party worker technically framed his own general secretary, not Maharashtra General Secretary, the General Secretary of India, Maharashtra National, Bharatiya Janata Party National General Secretary. So BJP General Secretary was a BJP worker had tipped against BJP General Secretary, who allegedly was carrying money. Some say 15 crores, like I said before, some say 5 crores, some say, and ultimately they say they recovered 10 lakhs, which is one has to see. Now, this is three major factors. BVA, ally of Bharatiya Janata Party till 2019. Even now, BVA is said to be covertly or overtly or whatever close to Bharatiya Janata Party than Mahavikas Aghadi. Number one. Number two, somebody giving a tip from Bharatiya Janata Party, some Bharatiya Janata Party worker giving a tip. And the most important thing, Shubham, did you notice? Did you notice that when these people gherowed Mr. Tawde, the entire TV crew was there. NDTV was there. Lot of other television channels were there. Who called the television channels? Which means that it is as if everything was set up, and then Tawde entered it, and boom, घेराव happened. Television channel happened. Television channel ko bhai studio se we are in news. We also know, we understand the business. From a studio and from or wherever you are, to get a camera crew to a place to record takes time, no? But no, here with a boom mic, there were television channels already present there. Who gave the tip? These are things that one should consider. So this is, like I said, point one, chapter one. Now let us go to point 2, chapter 2. You see, first and foremost is when Devendra Fadnavis became the chief minister in 2014, there were three major leaders who were actually in competition to him. One was Pankaja Munde, second was Vinod Tawde. In fact, Vinod Tawde, I would say, was leading the list. So Vinod Tawde, Pankaja Munde, Eknath Khadse, and Pankaja Munde. What happened to Pankaja Munde? Pankaja Munde was completely sidelined by Bharatiya Janata Party. Khadse had to leave Bharatiya Janata Party and join NCP, and now I guess he's back in Bharatiya Janata Party. And third was Vinod Tawde. Now, Vinod Tawde was sidelined, completely sidelined, but recently he was elevated and he got a national role, and he was the general secretary. He is the general secretary of Bharatiya Janata Party in the center. Okay, this is point number one. Not that I'm saying anything is related. I'm just telling you facts. Okay, na? So, three people who were then the contender of chief ministership, all the three were sidelined. Some left the party, like Khadse left the party and then came back. Pankaja Munde is still in the party, but completely sidelined. And Vinod Tawde, who was sidelined till now, went all of a sudden last year end, this year beginning, picked up and put in the center and given the role of a general secretary. So now this is the status. Now, just on the eve of the election, Vinod Tawde facing this kind of allegations, and people saying that he's tipped. This tip was given by a Bharatiya Janata Party worker. This is interesting. So, point number 2, chapter number 2. Now, let us come to chapter number 3. Chapter number 3 is Sanjay Raut says a top leader of Bharatiya Janata Party conspired to leak the information about Vinod Tawde. The Home Department kept an eye on Tawde, Tawde belongs to Bahujan Samaj and to end the future challenge. ठीक है, ये सब मैं नहीं बोलूंगा. This is politics. Now, two things. A top Bharatiya Janata Party leader. Who is Sanjay Raut hinting at? Top Bharatiya Janata Party leader. It could either be Nadda, who technically has got nothing much to do with Maharashtra politics. It could be Narendra Modi, who would not hurt himself by hurting a top leader. Could be Amit Shah. Why would Amit Shah, who was actually the forefront to ensure that Vinod Tawde is elevated and made into General Secretary, hurt Vinod Tawde? So, which is this top Bharatiya Janata Party leader that Mr. Sanjay Raut is referring to? Think about it, and possibly you can draw your own inferences. The second thing is the Home Department kept an eye on Tawde. How would the Home Department keep an eye on Tawde unless and until mind you, Home Department keeping an eye on Tawde? The ruling government is Bharatiya Janata Party government, Baba. The ruling and the Home Department is headed by Devendra Fadnavis, who is a Bharatiya Janata Party top leader. So how is Sanjay Raut saying that the Home Ministry was keeping an eye on Mr. Vinod Tawde? Either there are two things. Either Mr. Sanjay Raut is bluffing. He is just talking without knowing what is happening. Or Mr. Sanjay Raut knows something that he doesn't want to say directly. These are the two things that could happen. Now, the interesting part of it is all of this happened today. Tomorrow is the election. Now, this is a very, very important time, important situation, important phase of the election. See, you can't do any campaigning, you can't do any correction. So you can't even do a course correction. For instance, BBA was supposed to possibly do that joint press conference, like you rightly said, Shubham. Now, BVA couldn't do that joint press conference. Why? Because the Election Commission didn't allow them. So, what are we saying? We are saying that now no political party can do anything to correct what has been projected in front of Maharashtra audience. What Maharashtra audience saw is people throwing money from a bag, money all over the place, and people alleging that this is all bought by Mr. Vinod Tawde to distribute cash for votes. This is what the people saw, and nobody can go and correct it at this stage. That is why I said it's a very crucial phase. So now I think I have given you the kind of I've kind of given you a broad picture. I'm sure our viewers are intelligent enough to understand who, what, and how it could happen, or they can decipher their own. One doesn't know who, what, and how it happened, but I'm sure viewers can decipher on their own as to how all of this happened, and who all are responsible for this. Shubham.
Absolutely. In fact, like I said, a lot of political leaders have weighed in on this controversy. Rahul Gandhi, like I said previously, he tweeted, he said, Modi ji, ye 5 crore kiske safe se nikala hai? To which Vinod Tawde has responded on X saying that, sir, you yourself come to Nala Sopara, see the CCTV footage of the hotel, see the entire proceedings of the election commission held there, and prove that the money came in this manner. If making such a statement without any information isn't childishness, then what is? So Vinod Tawde and several leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party, including State President Chandrasekhar Bawankule, have weighed in on this, saying that this is a conspiracy that has been done by the opposition, knowing the fact that they would lose. This is what the BJP leaders had to say. And yes, like I said, we covered most of the developments. And like yes, there is one more that I would just like to highlight. BVA leader Prashant Rao has alleged that Vinod Tawade was hiding in the kitchen when party workers entered the hotel. The party also claimed that the hotel had shut down CCTV recording. So, what actually transpired? Who was responsible? Firstly, where did the cash come from? I think, Sujit, both you and I agree that this is the first questions to start with. Where did this cash come from? Who actually brought it to this hotel? Who did it belong to? Which party? Which candidate did it belong to? So that was the question that was being raised, and the Election Commission of India has filed an FIR in this regard against Vinod Tawde, and in fact, the candidate of the Bharatiya Janata Party in Nala Sopara, that is Rajan Nayak, which Mr. Tawde said he had come to meet the candidate there and ensure everything was in place before the state and that constituency, of course, included, would go to polls. But Suri, doesn't it raise a bigger question? We've been seeing since 2022 the khoke politics, the pannas khoke, and all these jibes being hurled at the Shiv Sena, the Bharatiya Janata Party. Doesn't it lay bare a very open secret, open and a very dirty secret of Indian politics, of this cash exchange that happens till the very last moment? If I remember correctly, in the voting, the run up to the voting to the Lok Sabha, I think this was in Baramati, where there were visuals of a bank being open at about 11:30 in the night. And Baramati was, of course, that saw the high-profile battle between Supriya Sule and Sunetra Pawar, which eventually Supriya Sule did win. But again, where does all of this? What does it show? You said that there's no time for course correction. Everyone has seen, I think, in the last 7 to 8 hours, everyone has seen those visuals. Everyone has seen who was present there, the kind of money that was being thrown around, the kind of slogans that were being raised, and the kind of chaos that really unfolded. What does it say about the state of Indian politics and this khoke politics, when money is just being rampantly exchanged from political parties across the board? The accusations have been placed against party across the board. How do you see this playing out, Sujit?
Shubham, let us face facts. We all know that monies are exchanged. Cash for vote is a very common phenomena in India, in Indian politics. It is very common phenomena, and let us not look at one party or another. I think all of us, all parties are involved. All of these parties, not all of us, but all parties are involved. So let us face facts. That is a fact. What is sad and what is uh, actually paining me is the fact that Maharashtra, cash for vote, and especially a place like Bombay, cash for vote was prevalent, but not in the scale that we are seeing recently. That is not Maharashtra. So that's something that's a very sad part. Secondly, you see, this entire episode, Shubham, I don't think it is cash for vote. I don't think it is. I think it is a episode which was created to frame a particular leader, to frame or to get him caught red-handed. That I don't know. That investigation will tell us. But it was it sounds in such a way that it was all made up to ensure that a particular leader is either framed, stroke, caught red-handed distributing cash. This is what it is. What I mean by that is, like I said before, look at it. The leader comes, immediately BVA comes, Gheraos the leader, Gheraos the hotel, press, media, television channel is ready to record. Is as if somebody already called them and put everything in place, ready to record. You see, doesn't that sound and look a little strange and stage managed? And like I told you, last but not the least, strategic timing. Look at that timing. You see, tomorrow is the election. You can't utter a word now. You have to, if at all you want to justify, you have to wait till day after tomorrow to justify. You can't utter a word now. So the fact remains that tomorrow voters will go with this particular visual that you are showing in your loop, and if somebody can show it to us
Yeah,
once again, that particular visual is going to go in the loop. This is the visual that, yeah, this
yeah,
is the visual that people of Maharashtra are going to remember. Look at people showing cash, people throwing cash, people, if you put up the volume, people are shouting chor 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 and all of that. This is the visual that Maharashtra is going to vote tomorrow with. So this visual cannot be taken away. This visual cannot be changed. This visual cannot be justified. This visual cannot be even clarified as to what is happening. And unless and until you use Twitter or whatever. But that being said, yeah, I mean, one doesn't know how true it is. One doesn't know how much of it is made. It is stage managed. I don't know any of that. But yeah, I mean, this is ultimately what is going to remain with us about Maharashtra politics and 2024 Maharashtra Assembly elections for sure. This is the last visual that is going to remain in our minds. Shubham, yes.
yes. Actually, there's a lot of conjecture. Like Mr. Raut pointed out, top leader of BJP, and who that top leader perhaps could be. Is it an internal sort of sabotage attempt that's being done to frame Mr. Tawde? Who exactly is behind this? I think we'll have to wait before we get actual, factual, concrete answers to all these questions. But like Sujit pointed out, this is the visual that Maharashtra will, the last visual before Maharashtra goes to polls tomorrow. Polling will start early in the morning. And this is what, 24 hours before polling, this is the visual. If you can just play that again. A top leader of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Vinod Tawde, visibly perturbed in those visuals, surrounded and out by party workers of the Bahujan Vikas Aghadi of Hitendra Thakur. And there you see cash being thrown around, slogans of chor, chor. And that really, I think, in a way, it what we've seen in the last 2-3 weeks of a hectic, grueling campaign, and what it was expected that the fight will go down right down to that last vote, that last EVM vote, and that last seat that would be counted. And this is the visual that we see, perhaps not even perhaps, I would say, a sad state of affairs when when leaders or visuals like this come up. Forget the political party. When visuals like this come up in a state like Maharashtra, in a state that is so politically significant, or any state for that matter, and with Maharashtra, of course, the churn that you've seen in the last 2.5 years is something. And it is with that visual, I think, in a way, that a part of that drama, Act One, Scene One, from 2019 to 2024, November 20th, would culminate with that visual. And then what happens after the 20th, like Sujit said, whatever course correction, whatever statements, justification, clarifications that you want to give, you can only give after that. So these are a couple of quick questions before we wind up this discussion.
Sure.
Do you see this? Do you see this visual playing a decisive role when a voter goes to polls? Because if I'm not mistaken, on your newspaper tomorrow, when you pick up the newspaper tomorrow, it'll have. I'm sure that it'll have this picture. It'll have this headline. When you look around social media, this is the visual that's playing everywhere. Do you see this playing a part just before Maharashtra goes to polls?
See, Shubham, there is, like I always say, there is that last mile voter. A last mile voter is the person who decides almost on his way to the polling booth, who decides almost on his way to the polling booth. There is a, I won't say significant percentage, but there is a decent percentage of voters who does that, who decides on the way to his or her polling booth. Number one. Now, this is going to definitely affect that voter. Number one. Number two is, if you ask me, that is it going to make a significant difference? Is this going to ensure that the Bharatiya Janata Party loses this election, or people are not going to vote for Bharatiya Janata Party? No, that will not happen to the extent which we talk about. For the simple reason that we are resilient. as voters, as people of this country, we are resilient. Because ठीक है हमारे लिए okay. Didn't we know that people distribute cash? Didn't we know that people distribute bottles of alcohol? Didn't we know that people distribute goodies for votes? We know that. But don't we still vote for that particular political party? We do. So the fact remains that we are resilient. हमको ऐसा कुछ खास फर्क नहीं पड़ता. It is not going to make much of a difference to us. So yeah, so bank super difference? No, it won't make. But difference to some extent it will make. And the fact remains that this is something like you rightly said that everybody knew. Today it has almost come into absolute open, and that too with who? With the general secretary of the world's largest political party, the world's largest political party, that is Bharatiya Janata Party. This is the general secretary of the world's largest political party who has been booked for cash for vote row. So yeah, that's something that India today will see. India has seen, Maharashtra has seen, and let us see what happens after that.
And final question, we are heading for voting tomorrow and results will be out in 3-4 days. What do you expect? A tight fight? What are your last thoughts?
No, we can't say, we can't talk. No,
okay. We can't talk. Oh yes, I'm sorry. Oh yes.
So
Yes,
no,
we cannot talk because the
we have
silence
no
period.
idea.
My apologies. My apologies.
Yeah.
It's the silence period. So
Certainly.
I think on that note, then we'll wind up. For our viewers, thank you so much for joining in. I'm sorry we couldn't talk about that bit because, like I said, there is a silence period and there are certain facets that we cannot talk about. But tomorrow, what we can talk about is the fact that Maharashtra will go to polls tomorrow. Voting starts early in the morning, about 7-8 a.m. and goes on till in the evening at about 6 p.m. Our team will be on ground. We will be having reporters spread across the city of Mumbai to get you a full picture of what the voter turnout looks like. What does the picture really look like? Because if you see it in the Lok Sabha, one major grievance that really stood out was the fact that the voter turnout was on the lower side. What will that picture look like tomorrow? Because it's the stage is set. No more campaigning, no more questioning, no more clarifications, justifications. Now it's up to 9.5 crore voters of Maharashtra who will go to their polling station and cast their vote. What does the voter turnout look like? All of that picture, the big reactions, the big visuals, we'll get all of that for you tomorrow only on HW News English here on our YouTube channel. So do subscribe to that. And of course, in the evening, once the voting is done, once the EVMs are shut, everything is done, sealed, the fate of thousands of candidates is sealed, the focus will shift to the results. But before that, we'll have the exit polls that will be coming out once the embargo ends, once voting ends. And of course, the exit polls have a story of its own. Their track record that has not been really the best, to say the least, in the last two elections, that is Haryana and the Lok Sabha. All of that, and of course, the result day on the 23rd of November. Our team is geared up to bring you all perspectives, a 360-degree coverage of what the verdict in Maharashtra and the state of Jharkhand. Let's not forget the state of Jharkhand as well. That will see the second phase of voting tomorrow. Jharkhand had a 2-phase voting. The second phase will be tomorrow. And of course, the results, the big result day will be out on the 23rd of November. So that's all we have for this live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. And do subscribe to HW News English. Stay tuned to our coverage tomorrow morning once voting begins in Maharashtra. And of course, the big results day. This is Shubham Chauhan signing off.